3 forbidden. Why? Why this error is coming? Server or website configuration is blocking you from viewing this page. Because whenever this particular browser is going into the file manager of my website, by default, it will find the index.html file. If that is available, it will render that. Not available, go out. Right? So this go out. By changing the file name, do one thing again. We will name our file as index.html. Right? Again, I have renamed as index.html. So we have to load the domain. And now again same particular site is coming. Right? Same site it is coming. Even if you are writing the name as index1 or just simple change, I am doing index1 instead of index. Error. Right? Now that particular error is persisting here. Keep the domain again, hit enter, errors. By keeping a simple one. Right? By keeping a single one, it's not loading the website, because whenever this browser is going into the file manager to load the file, it will find index.html. If that is available, rendered. Not available, sometime it can show 403 forbidden, sometime it can show 404 not found, sometime it can say white label page error. Like different kind of error it can give, depend upon your server. It means that keeping the index file is really very important for us. Now you will say, is it compulsory? So no, it's not compulsory. You can remove it. But you have to do lot of other configurations if you are removing your index file. So we are not removing the index file. As our index file in this project is a JSP file, means Jakarta Server Pages file. What does it mean? It means that it can embed the logic of Java as well. You can write the Java code. If you want to write the Java code, these are the ways. In that way you need to write. Now whenever Tomcat, Jetty or any online server is coming to run my employee MS folder or this project, it will go to first thing, it will go to src main and web folder. In web app, it will run index.jsp file. By default, it will run index.jsp file at any cost. Index.html and index.jsp there. See, first thing, it is not possible. The first use case the one question we got, that if index.html and index.jsp both are available, which one will run first? First of all, there is no use case here that you can implement two other index files, right? Why we can't add? So do one thing, we can add, but there are some restrictions. So let's say in this web app, I will create a new file. Let's search here HTML, or we will name it as index.html. So you will see that index.html file is coming, right? But it depends on your project then, that who is the parent of your project. If the parent of your project is var, web archive, so you can understand that index.jsp is going to run. If you have a situation in which you are having both the files, you can decide the priority. Priority scheduler is there in which you can set the priority of these files. Remember, we did this part in Core Spring when we were having two classes implementing the same interface. We were setting the priority, but that was for interface. We can set for file also. But what I'm saying is, let's say there is no priority. we are directly having index.html and index.jsp. Then it depends on server, it depends on packaging of your project. Because generally if you have a spring project, there was one of my student who was very good, like very good in spring boot. He learned everything very well. He went to an interview and interviewer asked him that what is the packaging of a spring boot, and he forgot. Until now I think you can't answer this question. What is the packaging of a spring project? Packaging. And we discussed this too many times. So its packaging is var only. And he forgot this. That even you forgot. We discussed that the entire project will be converted into a var file. We will give that var file to the Tomcat, Jetty, or any other particular server or any online server. Please run it. We will give var file, right? Web archive. He forgot. Sometime it happens. So it depends on server. It depends on packaging. Now priority is given to the JSP file. If packaging is var, if there is a var packaging, priority will be hold to JSP. Second thing, if you notice that in this front controller is accepting the .jsp file. So here you are trying to set something, right? Here you are trying to set something. So that's how it works. Now why I discussed about this particular server kind of thing, because yesterday there was a problem, and the problem was persisting that where is the request pending, where is the request pending. So let me run this application first and we will do the needful. So it is saying something like that there is no endpoint get empms, something like that, right? It is saying something like that. Okay, fine. Just for a moment, forget this server kind of thing. Talk normally. There is a var file. In that, the server will go to src main web app index.jsp, right? Index.jsp. This is the scheduling. That first server will go to src main web app and index.jsp. So let's understand this use case here. Your server came to index.jsp, and here you are saying that response.send direct. Send redirect means you are redirecting the server to something as home. Shall we check it's working? Now my question is, can we write the Java code here? If in this quotation, if I'm trying to write the Java code, can we write? Yes or no? JSP, you know, or okay, leave it. I'm not going on that way. So here index.jsp sending to something as home. What is this home? File or controller? What is this? File or controller? What is this? Here home. What is this? Home or controller? Right? Understand it properly. Right? Spring is about these minor details. Working is very easy. What is this? Are you giving the path of any controller, or you are giving the path of any view file? What exactly is this? How you know that you are going to controller? For that, just check the error that you are getting. The origin server did not find a current representation of the target resource and something like that it is saying. Means you are not even going to slash home. Are you going to slash home? We are not going to slash home. Now, one thing that redirected to home.jsp, just a use case. Because entire file name is home.jsp. So where is that file? In the views here. Right here we have this file. Now same thing. Run it again. So we'll run the project. Same thing. Error is not even changing. Now this is a case that we are going to discuss. You send the request to dispatcher servlet. Dispatcher servlet is trying to run index.jsp. Index.jsp saying that I will run home.jsp or home. First thing you should understand that what it is it a controller path or it is a view path? What it is? If we are asking that response.send redirect, so you will notice that it is a servlet part. And what response exactly takes? A controller or the view? What servlet takes? Controller or view? Let's in the same way we will open the controller as well. Right? So here we are writing this. That home is a controller. In this there is a home function which is requesting the mapping of slash home, and this slash home will open home.jsp. It will open home.jsp. That's what we means here, right? So can we say that this index.jsp is saying that you have to go to someone who is having the request mapping of home, means it's a controller. So go to home. What home is returning? Home.jsp. It is returning the exact view. What it is returning? Exact view. Because if you're returning home.jsp, you are returning the exact view. Does controller actually returns the exact view? No, it don't return the exact view. It returns model and view that should be compiled by use view resolver. How it can return a complete view? So we are going to change something that, okay, this time we will not return the view. We will return home file only. One change we did here, that how it can return a view. Again, close the server and let's run it again. Same thing. Where the problem is. Yesterday, if you have noticed, it was sending the request like something as slash home. Remember? Now that slash home is not even coming. It means that now index file is also not working. So what, just for checking purpose, in index.jsp, instead of this code, we will write some HTML code just to check whether this program is working fine or not. Means, is there any internal error in this project or not? So I will write project is working fine. Some debug method. So rebuild your application. Server was not stopped. It means now your project is not even coming to index.jsp file. If it is coming, then it is not working, right? What about JSP dependency? Not an issue, guys. We are using web MVC, right? Understand the problem statement here. What it is, that there is no endpoint get emp hyphen management system or ms slash. What is your, you are not getting this error? I know that it depends. If no one is, if you are not getting this error, it depends if your file is directly getting loaded. I am getting server error, so means you are also getting the error. Don't rely on the server message because it can never give you the exact problem. You need to figure it out now. And this is the issue. Let me tell you first issue here. In home.java file, what you are returning? HOME, and you are saying that this is the name of a view. But your file name is having capital H and you are having small h. This is one of the error. But now index.jsp we are rendering, which is also saying that that is not working fine. Project is not working fine. Right? It is saying that project is not working fine. Let's change the title again. Building the application will hardly take half an hour if everything is working fine, right? We just need to write those servlets commands. Two files we need to write for deleting and for adding. That's it. That will not take time. Time is here, right? Time is here, which is not working fine. We will do one thing, understand the flow from starting, that where we missed out. So this is our project. I'm taking you slowly to that point. Okay. So here in web app, and let's close this. Go to web.xml, the first file that we change here. Servlet is going to having the name as spring and URL pattern is slash. Means whatever values it want to take by slash, they will be handled by spring. Means this spring is our dispatcher servlet. So its class also we have written correctly. No problem. Then we got spring servlet.xml file in which we have qualified a bean. That bean class name is this, internal resource view resolver, view inf, JSP, everything is fine. There is no problem, right? Here also there is no problem. We can write the controller as package as well. That your controller is in com.employee.controller. Just for your confirmation. Now home.java file is there. Controller request mapping slash home, returning the home. Okay, it is returning home. And it is printing also that request is coming to controller. Let's run the application now. First, you need to check that whether the request is coming till this controller or not. As of now, we are not going to redirect to home. So that might not work. Means request will not go to home controller. Same thing. Go to console. That part is not getting printed. Right? That part is not getting printed. But if you see the console, it is saying no endpoint get, no mapping for get, no mapping for slash emp hyphen ms. Means there is no even a single mapping for this. Why it is saying? So dispatcher server default handler, okay, resolver, something like that it is saying. Okay, index dot do one thing. I'll write the redirection to home. Now run the application. Means index.jsp file is not having anything. It will render to home. It will not work, but what we need to check whether console is having that message or not. So console is not having that message. Which message? This one. That request is coming to controller. It means request went somewhere else. We remember that we developed a similar application. Like till now we haven't written any logic. We know that we have created a Spring Web MVC project. Let's run this application same way and we will check it's working now. Loading, right? It is loading fine. What will be this web XML having servlet? Same thing. Close it. Architecture, same thing, right? Same thing, right? Okay. But there is no index.jsp file here. We are directly writing the views folder. Means directly we are writing the home folder. Go to the controller part. Here controller is turning index.jsp. But index.jsp we have written inside the views. And we've removed this particular part, then also it was working. Right? Then also that project was working. It means that something is there which is not connected properly. Now, the game is totally handled with on the basis of that request. How the flow of request start from client, the request go to front controller. When client is having the request will go in this way. Let's say client is requesting for index.jsp because client will write the entire thing. Okay. But when front controller is sending the request to handler mapping, if it is sending the request to handler mapping, how it will send? With index.jsp. How it will send the request? I think again, like how it will send the request. Like index.jsp or index. See, understand the flow here. If you understood the flow, everything is easy. If you understood the flow, everything is easy. URL pattern. Think. If nothing is there, it should load index.jsp file, right? If nothing is there, it should load index.jsp file. It means that let's write a logic. It should render that heading, right? It should render this heading. HTML head is not compulsory. You can directly write, but request is not even coming here. When we discussed about the web flow of this Spring Web MVC, this was the architecture that we discussed. I hope you remember this architecture. How request was traveling. The entire error in Spring will be on the request part. Entire errors will be on the request part. So it's better to understand the request. You can give 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, no problem. But let's understand how this request is actually traveling. Or we are going to do one thing. We will manage 2 projects of the same type at a single time. For that, let's create a new Maven project and same folder. Archetype is web app. I will select com.emp. I will keep, and name also I will keep as emp and finish it. We need to add the dependency for webmbc. So I'll copy and paste in pom.xml file. Now I will show you 2 projects, right? Like how request is actually traveling there. Okay. So project is completed. This is the project which is having request problem, and this is the project which is a newly created project with a simple index.jsp file and which might be rendering hello world. Okay, it is rendering. Let's run this project. Working, right? No problem. What we are going to do is in the pom.xml file, at first let's give the dependency of webmbc. So we will give the dependency of webmbc. Save the file and it should have the dependencies it's having. Now close the server, run the file again. And remember, we are creating this project just for understanding the request parameters, that how request will actually travel and when it will get affected by our code, right? when it will get affected, so it's loading fine, no problem. The first change that we have to do is we need to declare our servlet. We need to declare our servlet. So let's create a servlet, and it should have two things, right? What it should have? Servlet name, let's say Spring I will keep, and then it should have servlet class. Here which class we need to write? Dispatcher servlet. So you can check it by pressing Shift Control T, and this is the class for it. First you need to copy the package name. So copy it, paste, and at last we can write dispatcher servlet. Just check the spelling as well, because wrong spelling will throw you error. So dispatcher servlet. Name I have kept as Spring. After that we need to map this servlet as well, right? Servlet will be having two things again, name and URL pattern. So name will be same Spring, and URL pattern I will keep here as slash. So you have defined your front controller, which will be holding the request. Run the project now. We will run our project on each and every step, just to check where request actually got some problem. So finish it, restart the server. Working means request came to front controller, index.jsp is running. Okay, not an issue. Now we will create the view resolver, close the server. In the web.inf folder we need to create a new xml file, so you can click on file. By the name, whatever the name of your dispatcher servlet is, so spring hyphen servlet dot xml, by default you need to keep it. And we need to keep the schema of Spring context, so you can search, and I have pasted that Spring configuration file xml schema. In that you can search for context based schema. So the context based schema, I'll copy these things and I'll paste. Now in this we need to define a bean, right? We need to define a bean with two things, prefix and suffix. But first thing, bean should have a class, right? It should have a class. Again, Shift Control T, and bean is having the class as internal resource view resolver. We'll first copy the package name. So copy this package name and paste up here with dot class name. Okay, pasted. It has two things. What it has? What it has? It will have property by giving two attributes, prefix and suffix. So we have already defined those, empms means, again we need to now let's run our application. First of all, we are not having anything as views. Are we expecting any errors here? So let's check on the server if we are having any errors. Working fine. Means till now it is loading index.jsp only, right? Till now, let's make some change to index.jsp file. So after hello world, I will keep one more heading. Index file is working. It's working, right? It is working. If it is working, we will do one thing. What we will do? Let's create a views folder in webinf. So at first I created a views folder in webinf here, and in that I will create a new file, and I will name this file as home.jsp. Home dot, and by default it is rendering HTML, and then it is rendering directly body with a heading that home page. That's it. I will ask my index file what? That you are not having anything. You are just one more thing we left here, that we forgot to create the controllers, right? So view resolver is done. Dispatcher servlet is done. This employee project, inside that, let's create a new class, and it is going to create it in src main resource. So I will create in src resource java. Package name, I will create com.emp.controller. Class name, let's keep here home. What it is saying, folder as java doesn't exist. So no problem. Let's first create a folder. So in emp, I'll create a folder first. And emp src main, and in main I'll keep a folder as java. So we got src main java, and now in this particular folder I will create new class. First com.emp.controller. Yeah, yesterday we changed our jdk also. That is another method. Directly you can create, it's not a big deal. At the rate of controller, it should have a function. So I will write public string home, and it is returning something as home. That's it. It should accept the mapping as well, right? It should accept the mapping. So I am saying that request mapping of slash home. Controller is done. And index.jsp file is still rendering the same content. Now run it. Controller index.jsp file is loading. Now, if it is loading the index.jsp file, why shouldn't we ask our index file? Let's say here I will create something as anchor tag, and I will say home. I will give it a href equals to slash home. In that way, I'm trying to deal with this. the requested resource slash home is not available. Okay. Now we know that controller should work slash home, right? Go to console. In this function, I will print one message. See, here only you need to understand the workflow. So I will say controller is called. Stop the server. We'll run it again. We are not making any change to index.jsp file. We are directly saying go directly, but with a anchor tag. An anchor tag is trying to load something as slash home. Go to console, and console is not printing this part. It means that it is not getting called. We can do one thing. We can give the package name. Component scan, and here I will write the package name. That all my controllers are in this package. Go there and find out. Same process again. Close it out, run, and run as. Slash home is not available. Okay, no problem. Console is again it's not getting called, right? Again it's not getting called. Give me a minute, guys. Hello, hello. Yeah, I have submitted the rank today afternoon only. Then what happened? My roommate name it's Srinivas, Vishal, and Dinesh. Dinesh, Srinivas, and Vishal. Hello, Dinesh. Dinesh. What happened? Sorry, what happened? Yeah, Dinesh. Like, what happened? Okay, okay. Fine. Okay, sorry for the inconvenience. So, again, now that particular controller is not even called here, right? This particular controller is not even called. It should be called. For that, one more thing that you can say that we are not adding the views. So, add that also. So, go to the project properties, then go to the project facets first, or no need to add the Apache Tomcat. If you want to add, it will be helpful for it to understand, but it is asking for the path, no problem. Go to deployment assembly, and web part is not available, so add the path src main web app web and views. Finish it. So views is coming here, so apply and close. So it's building something. Let's wait. Okay, so we'll run our application. First, let's close the server. Now it is running. Means first problem, that home was not available directly, means controller was trying to execute something as home, but that was not available. Now if I'm clicking on this slash this home, now slash home is not available, right? Now slash home is not available. What we will do is, now index.jsp file is loading. Now let's redirect the index.jsp file. So same thing, you need to accept a response. Remember or forgot? Response dot redirected. Yes, remember? Redirection in JSP or ASP. Mukesh, redirection in JSP. Response dot redirect. If you forgot these things very easily, how we will do? Okay, let's do one thing. I will import the response. From which package I need to import it? Just tell me one thing. But we don't have to import anything here. But it is importing something that we don't want. Think again. Yes, like this is something I don't expect from you. Found? Turning the pages might, you might have found it, right? Yesterday only I said it. Send redirect. Response dot send redirect. From which package we need to import the response? From which package we do need to import it? Yes. If we are saying, you are saying that response dot send redirect, then we need to import it from any package or directly we can write. Is it correct? If I'm writing response dot send redirect, is it correct? Slash home dot jsp slash नहीं आएगा. Okay. Why slash will not come? Complete mismatch, guys. Okay. Whatever you say, but don't forget these things. Like, I'm not asking you to remember everything, but at least remember what is necessary. So we'll close the server and we'll run it again. Home page is coming now. Same method, same technology in both of the project, right? And coming. Same. Everything is same. Not even a single change. First change, you can say that we change the JDK version, but it's not a big deal. Project should run because it's not a JDK error. But if sometime JDK is giving error, then no problem. In this way, controller is called. Controller is called. Which controller? This home.java. In this particular controller is called, which is returning the home. It means now you can make change. But remember, spelling matters here. If you are writing capital H, it will not work. If you are writing capital H, it will not work. So case works here. Let's render something else. I will write anchor tag Google, write the href, close, run, finish. Everything is working fine. What was the problem in last project now? Same steps, even we have copy pasted the steps. Let me fix it out. In this employee management system or this employee, both projects are written in the same way, right? Both projects are written in the same way. First thing, index.jsp. First, let's read this index.html file. In index.jsp, we are rendering hello world directly. So let's run this project now. Shit. What changed? What got changed here? Hello world is coming now from employee management system project. Did we change something to this project? No. We deleted one index file. We deleted one index file because both were index file. Priority was not scheduling here. Now it's working. Let's check the redirection also. Instead of rendering this hello world, we will redirect it to home page. Now it can throw error because of the controller, but we will sort it out. So here we keep response dot send redirect. Now don't forget this slash home. Okay. Close the server. We run the employee management system project. Slash home is not available. The reason is because it is not available in your project. Right? Slash home is not available. Who is handling the request of slash home? Home.java. This particular function. Right? This particular function was holding the request. So we are giving a request is coming to controller. No problem. Let's check whether a request is coming to this or not. Because request should come to this controller. No request is coming. The reason why request is not coming here. Index.jsp. What is that? Like this file, right? So slash home. Why didn't you share that the last time? Even while typing this, I will say now remember the things. Okay. Now also it will not. Let me check whether it will work or not. So no, it will not work. The reason, let's tell. And if it is working now, like server problem. It is trying to load something as home. Remember what it is saying? It is saying that JSP file home.jsp not found. It cannot find any home.jsp. I told you the reason I know that this home is returning small h, but that file is written with capital H. Right? That file is written as capital H. This time in console request is coming to controller. So now URL pattern works in this way. Whenever you are requesting, you have to request without slash. So here you were requesting. When you are accepting, you should accept a request with a slash. Remember this. Tomorrow again I will ask. Remember this. Okay. So now let's run the project. Okay. Home page is work. Let's import the bootstrap in this. So just search bootstrap, go to the bootstrap website and copy the CSS link. This one, style sheet, copy this and paste it in your home file. That is home. Now don't change anything in index because this is directly rendering the home page. Cut this. I'll go to same page, that is home.jsp. So we import the or we link the things in head field. So have linked it. Okay. Linked. In the body of home page, I will first add a nav bar, means a header I will add. So go to bootstrap and search here nav bar. So this is the code of nav bar. Copy, paste. Refresh your home page now. So navbar home link navbar is coming means bootstrap is working. Instead of this navbar, I will show a logo. I want only two pages, home page and add employee page. Home page and add employee page. That's it. In home page, all the employee will be coming. In add employee, you can add a new employee. Rest everything I will delete from here. So go to home.jsp. What you need to keep, navbar you need to keep, and home page you need to keep. After this home page link, I will change to add employee, add employee, and after this whatever list items are coming, I will remove them. So refresh and go to browser, add employee disabled, we'll remove this as well. So okay, home page and add employee. Now we will attach a link to this add employee. For that we should have a view file. For that at first we should have a view file. So let's create a view file. Same thing, I'll create a JSP file. I will name it as add underscore emp dot JSP. All small, right? Add employee JSP. Here, create a new employee. Let's render it in a heading. Create a new employee. That's it. Create a new employee. Okay, that is fine. Now you should have a controller for it. In home.jsp, add employee link I will write as slash add emp. Add emp. Add employee, or you can keep underscore here that add employee. Now whenever you are clicking on this add employee, it will try you to take you to directly add underscore employee, not okay. So let's define its controller as well. So we will go to home.java. I will create public string add underscore emp as a function, and it will return what it will return. Add underscore emp file name it will return. When it will return, whenever someone is requesting you, when someone is requesting it for the mapping of add underscore emp. In this file, create a new employee. I'm just rendering. Refresh. Let's rebuild the project. By default, it will load the home page, right? Loading, click on add employee. Again, not found. Again, not found. Now, which controller is managing that? Request is coming to controller because home page is rendering because of this controller. So I will cut paste this link to here. Go back, home, refresh, add employee. Go back, add employee. Now we need to refresh. Which controller is managing the things? I think at least. Which controller is managing it? No problem. In home.java, it will render when slash home is working. It will render when slash add underscore employee is working. Okay, no problem. You just think it is calling add underscore employee. Okay, it's calling it, right? It is calling it. How you are using it in a link? So home.jsp is writing add employee with a slash remove everywhere slash remove. If you are removing the slash, okay, I just for a second, let's say we are removing the slash. First, you need to understand this part only, that where we need to keep it, where we need to remove it. The biggest request problem here. That slash is added by default. that slash is added by default. This particular add employee section should also have the nav bar. So add employee will be having the nav bar. So nav bar will copy paste this entire nav, copy and paste to add employee file as well. And here the add employee should have the same URL, and home page should have the home URL, that is home, right? That is home. Array home or not? So refresh it. We need to import the CSS link. So copy it, means copy the link segment and keep it here. Home page, you are coming to home page, add employee, you are going to add employee. Now what is left? Servlet logic. So what was the takeaway from this session? Whenever you are writing a request, your request should take you to somewhere as list directly. Whenever you are writing the pattern, you know why we are not writing slash here? Because front controller is having the URL pattern as, who will add the slash now? Front controller. So you need to decide if your request is floating here, no slash is required. After dispatcher servlet, all the request will be having a slash with them. So if you are writing in handler mapping or view resolver, they should write with slash. And whenever you are returning a file name, not a view. So don't write JSP. Take away of this session. Tomorrow we will complete this project. This was the entire scenario of this work case. Right? Now what is left here? On add employee, it should show a section taking the employee detail, whatever detail you want. Click the add button. It will send that data to home page. All the employees that you are adding will be available in the home page. Okay. Home page will by default load all the employees. That's it. And tomorrow we'll pack up with this project. We'll create more project as well. This is the first one. Okay. Fine guys, we'll connect again tomorrow. Have a nice time everyone. Bye bye.